All right, so it says that I'm live now, so let's get going. Hey, it's Bad Girl Mystic, and I'm here in my studio, my home studio in Petaluma, California, and I'm bringing with you today a off the map class. There's a lot of, buzz going on right now about developing your yoga practice beyond your asana, and as a yoga teacher, and also as my own client, let's say, I have benefited so much from taking my yoga practice from an asana and learning a little bit more about like how my body works and how my emotions work. So today we're going to be exploring the third chakra, the power chakra. And I have my little notes here. So I'm going to take you through just a really quick class about like how to do a chakra makeover, right? And today we're specifically looking at the third chakra. Why? Because if you follow the Bad Girl Wisdom podcast, we are doing a special for the summer called Summer Solutions on how to unleash your chick power. And we have been doing quantum coloring with the root chakra. Right now, the podcast is up for the second chakra about your emotions and your feelings. And we're diving in deep. We're doing an immersion. We're looking at like where in your body do you feel your chakra? Where is it tripping you up? And more importantly, how to create a practice for yourself, 15 minutes a day that fits you. That's the important thing. So as we move into like the power chakra, right? What's the pain? What's the pain that drives us in the third chakra? And I have one of my favorite books. You'll be able to find it on the podcast Friday that when I post it, I'll give you the link. One of my favorite books on chakras is Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Mace. And she has a chart in here that gives you all of the body parts and an easy reference, which I use a lot. This is one of my favorites. So third chakra, we're going to be talking about where it lives in your body. And just FYI, if you're hearing the music, shout out to Julian Walker. He's got an awesome chill mix on Mixcloud. Loving it, listen to it all the time. But third chakra, right? Belly, right here. So we're looking at your abdomen, your stomach, your upper intestines, liver and gallbladder, kidney, pancreas, adrenal glands, spleen, and the middle spine. So if you're holding back pain, you're always holding your back, like you're putting your hand behind your back, just above that just before you get to your waist. If you go ahead and grab the back there, this is where your adrenal glands sit. And this is the endocrine gland that governs the major hormones around this area. So whether you know about a chakra or not, we all have adrenal glands. We need adrenal glands to live. And what the chakra, the power chakra is about is your life force. So where are you holding back your life force? And this is important to also look at the chakra from an angle of, what's the story it's trying to tell you? The third chakra is related to the age of social development, age 15 to 21. And as we know, being a teenager can be crazy and it can be disempowering depending on what kind of authority figures you were brought up around. So the other issues that's around third chakra, trust. More importantly, learning how to trust yourself. Fear and intimidation, self-esteem, self-confidence, self-respect, care of oneself and others, responsibility for making decisions, sensitivity to criticism, personal honor. So I know for myself, I definitely was described by my circle, my close friends, as ones that, people say, wow, you're really sensitive. And you're like, well, yeah, I am. So I learned to hide that. So how do you find balance when you're sensitive and still shine your power? And we're going to look at that today. Arthritis, gastric ulcers, colon intestinal problems, your digestive health. I just pinned a great pin on the Bad Girl Mystic Pinterest boards on pooping. For a long time, I was a educator with digestive health, and I talked about poop and elimination. It's very important for us to take the time to love our belly. This is our vital organs. This is our life force. We look at the pancreas problems, indigestion. This is where eating disorders are, chronic anorexia, bulimia, liver problems, and as I mentioned, adrenal problems. So, crap, right? Let's look at the pain. Nobody ever wants to look at the pain. But for myself, I used to have a lot of difficulties with this particular chakra. I was a hot mess when it came to this chakra. When at this age, between the 15 and 21 social age, is when I developed bulimia, and I was emotionally just an emotional stuffer. I was stuffing it all down. My light, I wasn't concerned about my light. I was concerned about finding that comfort, that safety. And for so many women, we get tripped up in the third chakra. Where if you're brought up to hide your belly, if you're brought up to be ashamed of it, and go ahead and rub your hands together, put them on your belly. Let's just go ahead and feel into there. Let your stomach relax. This is your life force. So for many years, I was someone who was like, oh my gosh, I did not like my stomach. I was unhappy with my stomach. I said mean, awful, cruel things to my stomach. So, yet, it's a mixed message. Here it is. This is our life force. And if we don't appreciate the organs that sit here, and we're always uncomfortable and squeezing our muscles and sucking in our stomach and creating weird muscle tension and holding our body in weird places, we're going to begin to have some back problems. We're going to begin to have some digestive problems. In fact, there are more nerve endings in the small intestine that register pain than anywhere else in the body. It is true. Everything starts within the gut, including your health. All inflammation starts in the gut. All imbalances come back to what is your life force? What are you putting inside your body? So I mentioned I was a hot mess, right? And I mentioned that we were going to go ahead and we were going to talk about shining your light, finding your light. And I remember when I was a kid, you know, I used to love those old movies on MGM, and I remember, like, you know, they would have these actresses, and the actresses were always applauded, the ones that knew how to find their light. And that used to terrify me as a kid. I so badly wanted to perform and tell stories and let, you know, and bring people to a place of joy, shine a little light in the world, because I understood how dark it is and how much I appreciated when an artist could make me laugh, or I would find a drawing or a book or a poem that moved me. And we begin to collect these little things, these little pieces, a piece of jewelry that we love, or for myself, I love flowers. We start to add to our environment. And I also noticed that when I was depressed and sad or anxious, I would let these little practices go. So for myself, where did I really decide, okay, I want to change this, right? I said, you know, a lot of times I've had women come up to me and go, I can't believe you were ever insecure. I can't believe that you know, ever had problems talking to people. I was extremely shy. I was painfully shy. I wasn't shy around everyone. It was more about what kind of situation I was in. What was I doing? And when it came to shining my light and doing what it is that I really love to do, I remember I was just so afraid to sing. This was my Achilles heel as a performer. When I was a little kid, I was doing a Christmas show, and we were singing up on top of the rooftop, or I don't know. I'm typical American, like I know only like the first 2 lines of every Christmas carol. But the teacher asked who was singing out of tune, and all the kids pointed at me, and I shut my mouth. I would only sing when I was alone. So as a performer and doing theater, I would always hit a wall when it came to going further into the drama productions, because they always did musicals. And what happens is, if you can't sing, then you're just spending the time pushing around a lot of scenery usually. You're in the background. And so I never went and did the drama productions. I would just keep taking the scene study classes over and over. So when I was about 18, 19, I got the guts to go to a real acting class. And I was working in the film industry at the time. I grew up in Los Angeles, in the Hollywood area, and somebody close to me that worked in the film industry got me a job as a receptionist, and I knew a casting director, and I asked her for an acting teacher. And there was this great teacher. His name was David Hall, and he was in the San Fernando Valley, where all the acting classes are in LA, on Cahuenga. And I would just make that drive from my parents' house up Highland, past the Hollywood Bowl on a Friday night. Always got, I would avoid traffic on the way home. I'd always end up taking, like, going all the way to Laurel Canyon, taking Laurel Canyon home or something like that. Take a nice drive late at night. Because I had so much energy to burn off after acting class. So there was this time where he's like, okay, prepare a song. I was like, oh no, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. I can't sing. This is going to be a nightmare. And I decided to do one of my favorite songs that I thought would be, easy for me, because I love to dance. That's where I had a lot of confidence was dancing. I was a kid that hung out in the clubs. I danced all my demons off during the 80s in high school. So I thought, okay, I'll do like, Hey Big Spender. I'll whelm with my dancing and nobody will notice my singing. I started tripping balls. I was tripping so fucking hard before I got on that stage. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was crying. I was shaking. It was uncontrollable. And that was what used to happen to me when I would get scared, when I would hit that pocket of fear and anxiety, and you would just literally, the panic would start to take over. And so I'm sitting there and I'm getting ready and I'm in the wings, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. And I went out there and gave it my best shot, and just from the moment I hit the stage, I knew it was going to be bad. It was horrible, out of tune. I was so nervous. I was forgetting what I was doing. I started crying through it. And I ran off stage. I didn't even finish it. The only time I've ever run off stage was that one time where I quit in the middle of a performance. So my teacher brought me back on. And he's like, all right. He's like, I want you to go ahead. And he goes, I want you to just sit on the edge of the stage and speak the words. Now, I was sobbing. I was crying. I was like, there's no way I can do this. But I allowed it just to be what it was. And that's what I mean. It was like, it was just me. There was no, it was just where I was at in that moment. But I allowed that to be expressed truthfully. He coaxed that out of me by just speaking the song, sitting still, and sharing it. The amazing thing was people started crying that were in the class, that were watching the performance. And it was the first time I could see that my pain that I was holding could help others if I shared it. So fast forward to all this, right? What used to come to me, what I heard from teachers all my life, singing teachers and acting teachers and coaches I've known in personal development, they all said it's that one thing, that one place in you that you decide that you want to go for it. You want to shine your light out. You want it to be whatever it is for you. But everyone has to find on their own. Like, I love So You Think You Can Dance. So You Think You Can Dance. Paula just said the same thing to someone, Paula Abdul. She's like, only you can decide when you're going to go for it. And this is the third chakra. This is the power chakra. And And one of the ways to tell if we're holding injuries in this chakra is, are you challenged with one of those physical issues? The best place to start in any chakra healing is, are you a digestive mess? Are you emotionally stuffing your feelings down? Are you shining your light in some places but holding it back in other? Do you have problems trusting yourself, let alone your relationships with other people? If you want to reach out on a bigger level and really shine your light, and not only and move out of survivor mode into being independent, being able to influence with your shine, whether it's your family, your workplace, your environment, or creatively as an artist or an entrepreneur, we have to develop trust with ourselves. So this is where usually the wound is being held in the third chakra. Somewhere within us, we're holding back. So if we want to go through the door, if we want to level up to the next side, we want to move out of survival mode into independence, or you want to move out of independence, but you want to start using your voice and start influencing. But in the past, there has been this roadblock. In the past, you have held yourself back. We have to start the relationship with the personal power first, right? And so this is where the art of healing comes into. And this is why I do this stuff from my house and, straight up on the video, no makeup, in my glasses, whatever, is that I want to share with you that it was just, I was someone that struggled with my stress, learned everything I could about yoga and about healing and about therapy and psychology and whatever I could, because I wanted to fix that root of insecurity. I thought it was something I'd have to pull out. I thought it was like I had to chase the fear away, and I tried chasing the fear away with like jumping out of airplanes and oh gosh, rappelling off the side of cliffs, and I even danced naked on stage. I did everything I could to push myself, but trust myself. So I took this really long road to get back to what happens in a very small space, which is with you. So for me, where the chakra health, it's a map. It's a map to your emotions. It's a map to you helping find which chakras are injured, what chakras are holding your wounded stories. And by addressing our chakras and our whole physical body as an interactive map, right? Like an interactive video game, interactive map where our physical body and our thoughts and our emotions, just like the Eastern alternative systems that were thousands of years old. Yoga is the oldest medicine system in written history. And all exercises, military acts, everything stems from yoga. Dance exercises, it all stems from yoga. They looked at the animals and their environment around, and they learned to express their body in a way that engaged all the different systems, the mobility systems of the joints, and the lymphatic system, the water system. But we're talking about power chakra. So with the power chakra, the element that governs this chakra is fire. So this is another thing with digestive system. Many times we're lacking enzymatic function, and we have stomach problems, we have problems with constipation, or we have problems with diarrhea. What is giving you fire? Are you dampening your fire? Are you looking, are you someone who has an inner critic loop just going on in your head? Are you looking instead for a way to talk yourself out of something instead of looking for a strategy on how to accomplish what it is that you want to go get? Once again, that's throwing water. That's just like, putting the fire out. So to switch that fire, to go through that door, to put some fire under there, first we need to begin unwinding the stories. Now, what I teach is quantum healing. What I've done is I've taken what I have learned from NLP, which a lot of people are teaching. It's become extremely popular. Phil Jackson, he took the Bulls and the Lakers to all those championships with NLP, quantum learning. What I have learned from my women coaches who have studied the same information as I have is that when you apply it to your emotions as a woman, is you start from what it is that you feel. Because if we're women, if we don't feel it, we're never, ever going to do it. We can think about it all we want, but if it's not in our heart, if it's not what we want, we're never going to stir up the fire within. And this is why I use the chakra map for the NLP tools. I use a chakra map as a way for us to begin unraveling these stories and these beliefs and these values that may have been stuck, that were formed at this time during our development, formed during our social development, specifically looking at the time between age 15 and 21. We're going to dive deeper in this into the Quantum Coloring podcast and look at all the little elements and, what I call the superfood. What you see people talk a lot about, the crystals. And just so I brought you my little crystal collection. Little tiger's eye today, little citrine. Got my little citrine one. Essential oils. I have some basil here, which is wonderful for the third chakra. Put on your belly and stimulate fire. These are all terrific tools. But ultimately, the change has to come from breaking the habit of listening to our inner critic. We need to fire the inner critic, and we need to go ahead and place in the third chakra our best person on the job, right? Some people like picturing a goddess. Some people like picturing the best helper in the world. Some, whatever that is for you. If you want a cartoon image, great. If you want to go very woo-woo and celestial and put angels or power guides or animals, whatever works for you. But we want to go ahead and make friends with this area first. And you do that, one of my favorite ways to do that is with the Hawaiian prayer from the kahunas in Hawaii called Ho'oponopono. And it's a very powerful prayer. I'll put this up also on the page. You go ahead and sign up for the Summer Solution Workshop for free, and you get access to the download of the podcast. Plus, you get all the superfood memes that you can pin, but also that you can go ahead and download that you'll have to help support you, like what oils and what crystals. And like I said, these are superfoods. These are things that are going to stimulate your system. But ultimately, you're the captain. You have to give the directive. You have to get in the captain's chair. My coach, Samantha Bennett, creativity coach, she uses a powerful exercise. Science has proven we only need 15 minutes a day for us to begin reprogramming our neural network. So when you go to emotionally repattern your nervous system and emotionally repattern a thought of powerlessness. So something where you're like, oh, I can never do that, or I should do that, or that's only for other people. Little hints, right? Little clues. Another clue that your chakra is out of balance is, are you procrastinating? Are you people pleasing? Where is it? Are you doing perfectionism? Are you practicing perfectionism with your food? Are you procrastinating with changing your diet? Are you eating certain foods or only buying certain foods to please other people instead of creating a meal that's separate for yourself that fuels what it is that you need? So as we begin to, make these decisions, find something that's super easy peasy to change, something that's super easy, that's in relation to the chakra if you're having a weakness in this area. But more importantly, if you could create a new habit where 15 minutes a day you got up and you placed your hands on this area of your body and you said the Ho'oponopono prayer. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. This is amazing. This is the shit, I swear. This will light you up. It feels so good. You just rub your hands together, super simple, and just place it all over your belly. You are touching all your vital organs that keep you alive, the systems that cleanse everything and build your immune system and move out the crap you don't need. And assimilate what you do need. So on that note, eat with joy. Go the fuck out there and eat whatever the fuck you want. But more importantly, the whole time you're eating it, I want you to go, oh my God, this is so amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let your body know that what you are consuming is good for you. That you want it, that it's something that brings you pleasure. Let's say you're having a moment and you're upset and you're like, okay, I want sweet tarts. I'm going to go get sweet tarts. Enjoy the fuck out of those sweet tarts, because if you say the whole time, I shouldn't be doing this, these are so bad for me, what am I doing? You are literally, as a captain, sending a mixed message to your digestive system. Your digestive system is going to hold that. It's going to put it in a pocket in your small intestine. That's called diverticulitis. And it's going to say, I don't know what to do with this. I think this might be poison, because we're getting a message from command center saying, this is really fucking bad for me. So all that guilt is fucking you up 3 times over. So enjoy the hell out of your food. No apologies, no explaining. Go the fuck out there and enjoy what it is that you want. Why am I so adamant about this? Because I'm tired of women feeling like they're the wrong size and the wrong age and doing the wrong thing. Here's the asshole rule. Is it safe for you? Is it safe for the planet? And is it safe for other people? If yes, then do what it is that feels right. Now, on the other hand, if you keep consuming junk food, right, and then you're going to stay out of balance. We need to put in to our system the food and the materials that our body needs to produce more of what is us, which is cellular tissue. And if we hold back these vital life nutrients that create more of us, more healthy cells, then eventually we're going to start to chip away at who we are. We're going to begin to diminish our power, because we are clearly stating a message that we are out of sync. We're out of alignment with our environment. Okay, so now, what would you do, right? If you love apples, apples are fantastic. Apples have pectin. Apples is great for, especially apple juice, for breaking up gallstones and helping support the liver and digestive system. What if you just want to do fresh fruit? You don't have to do a green juice. If you don't like kale, you don't have to do kale. Cucumber juice with a little beet and carrots, fantastic. Maybe do one fresh juice every day for the next 28 days, because it takes 28 days to make a new habit. What would you do for your thoughts? Okay, so you are criticizing yourself. All right, forgive yourself. Today's a new day. You can say hell no to that monster and sit down and have some tea with it and say, okay, I get, like, you really want me to say, okay, yeah, I'm looking at my hair. It's a mess. 80s. You can say, hey, I want to find whatever it is, that belief that's holding me back. You go and do that, great. Get out a piece of paper. Get out some crayons. Come do the quantum coloring classes with me. The important thing is to know that it takes 28 days to make a new habit. It takes 90 days to make a body memory, which means that it takes 90 days for your whole body to be encoded with new cells that know this habit through and through, like driving, like washing your hair, where you don't even have to think about it anymore. So where is an easy place for you to do that effort? And where would that bring you contentment? I brought my little stone that was given to me by a shaman when I did my 200 RYT yoga teacher training. I'm 500 RYT now, but that was many years ago that I did that. And this is the stone of contentment. So where do you want to have a little more contentment in your life? Well, we're going to go ahead and do a really powerful NLP visual. I'm going to go ahead and just close this class out. And before I do, in honor of the Bring Back Our Goddess and Free Our Goddess campaign that's going on Instagram in protest of them taking away our hashtag goddess, I'm going to pull a card from Doreen Virtue. We'll get a little goddess help. I like to mix the woo-woo with the science. And so one of the fun ways to play with your intuition and just trusting your intuition, you don't have to worry about it. It's not like a job. It's not like a big life decision about a relationship. It's just every day showing up and doing fun little things where you get to trust your intuition. And our card today is, I'm drawing with my non-dominant hand. We're getting white Tara. Sensitivity, right? This is what our digestive system is about. It can be very sensitive times. It's tuning in to what our digestive system wants to tell us, listening to those little imbalances, doing the footwork, putting on your detective cap, right? You're becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. So this is white Tara. I'll have a picture of her up too on the podcast. And I'm going to go ahead and put her up there. So take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale slowly out of the nose. Yes, I just said that while holding my breath. Take another deep inhale. Through the nose. Exhale out of the nose. Now feel that breath travel up your spine, all the way from the lower spine, all the way up to the top of the head. Take another deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. So what if your whole, like the next 90 days, if you're going to go ahead and use your imagination and see the next 90 days ahead of you, and you'll probably feel your eyes travel up to the top right corner, because that's where we go to the part of the brain to access our visual learning systems. And as you imagine those 90 days, right, you imagine, you can even close your eyes if you want. If you're someone who's a auditory learner, some people prefer to close their eyes and listen to someone talk. Some people prefer to keep their eyes open. Some people prefer to move their bodies. I can hear the music starting to pump up, right? Some people like to dance. It all depends on you, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this really powerful exercise where we're going to sit there and we're going to think about what it is that we want to change, what it is in our life that we feel it's holding us back, and see ourselves accomplishing efforts towards this over the next 90 days. Now, when I first found out about this, oh gosh, funny story. So I was at this place in my life. This was about 15 years ago. And I heard, it was the first time ever that I had come across quantum learning. And my teacher was Christopher Howard. He is a world-renowned teacher of NLP and quantum learning. And it was crazy. Like, I was in a crazy place in my life. I wasn't doing good at all. I was dark. It was dark, 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 right? The dude that I thought was Mr. Right turned out to be Mr. Right now. Found out he was getting married. It was, and then just to add a little salt, lemon to the wound, she was, an actress, a blonde actress that was 20 years younger than him. He met on the set. And for every woman, when you're, oh gosh, at that time, I was almost 40. And I remember just thinking, oh, God, like, okay, this is it. I'm going to be alone the rest of my life. I need to do some hardcore soul searching. At the time, I had just found out, like the same week, 2 friends of mine tagged me at the same time. They were both calling through to my phone at the same time, saying you have to go do this seminar. Now, I hated seminars. Oh my Lord. I had been to a few, was not comfortable. Wasn't comfortable sharing about myself. Wasn't comfortable about all the group interaction. I had stuff going on. It was dark. It was deep. It was personal. And I like to work this shit out by myself. So I ended up, but you know, they were so insistent, and I ended up getting this deal. I could bring a friend and we could divide the cost, and then I could afford it because it was in San Francisco, and the parking, you know, on top of that, you have this like outrageously high parking fee. And I remember walking in there, right? And I used to have this really long hair, and I had just cut it all off, much shorter than my hair now. Like it was chopped off. It looked like Halle Berry short. And I just had such a chip on my shoulder. And I see this guy come out on the first night, and he's telling this whole story about baggage, and he's crawling over people as he's expressing himself, and he's, you know, great storyteller. Chris is a really great storyteller. I was completely captivated as he shared the story of his struggle, and shared a story of being a struggling actor and having no money and having to boil water every 3 days in the microwave. And he just got tired of struggling, got tired of always having these messages of struggle just playing in his head over and over. And I was listening to it, and I was sitting in the back, you know, I was rebel badass, my legs kicked out on the side. And he said something important. He said, if you come with a will see attitude, then don't be surprised when you get will see results. I was like, okay. I was busted. Definitely had will see attitude. Everything I'd done up to that point, I'd become such a skeptic, you know. I was able to take my fears and traumas and dramas and karmas, because like I said, I was at a point where I was so painfully shy and afraid to express what it was that I really wanted. I really wanted to express my art. I really wanted to shine in the areas and the things that I love to do, but I was carrying this old belief that this was only okay for a hobby. I would never make any money, and I had to grow up and learn how to take care of myself, and then I could do these things. And I carried this belief. I carried this belief that this was okay for some people, but I had the X, Y, and Z, and I had a formula of why it was never going to happen for me and why it wasn't okay. So as I'm listening to him, and then he busts me on the will see attitude, I was intrigued. But I still had the will see attitude. I still was like, okay, right. You know, as I'm watching him, you know, explain to us and take us on this journey that there's an other side to this pain, that going through the door of this pain is work with yourself. Now, what I did like was that he handed out a notebook. We all had to do our own work. We all had to find that within ourselves, and we used journaling guided with him through the weekend, and he would take us through these different exercises, and then we had that time to make those connections, let those neural connections come up for ourselves. And as I'm looking at this, at my notes here, the impact of his story, what I related to the most about his story, not only did he bust me about the will see attitude and being a rebel, but where he got me is that scientifically, our body is able to make new neural networks. Our body is able to create new cells. Our body is made to regenerate. And there's a power behind that. There's a power behind that, especially for women. When we make up our mind to do something, there is no force on earth that can stop us. Our heart can be either our greatest weapon or our greatest mojo. So where do you want to shine your mojo today? Where it could be something as simple as expanding your cooking expertise. It could be something as simple as something that'll add to your health and give you more exercise. It could be something as simple as wearing an outfit or a style that you love. Or it could be deeper. It could be deeper. Maybe you decide this is a day you're going to break up with your inner critic. And what would that look like? If you were to look 90 days from now, right? Today, let me look at my calendar. We're at August 6th, Thursday. And 3 months from now, we're looking at September, October, November. what would you like to be different? You know, come Thanksgiving, what do you want to be grateful for? What is it that you want to give your 100% effort to? So for myself, where I wanted to give 100% effort was showing up for myself every day, dancing at least one dance, and doing the art that I love to do. Am I a trained artist? No, I color. I've taken a couple classes, community college and high school. Like I said, same with drama. I was afraid to take that further. Now, what happened with the whole singing situation? Funny, that same weekend, Chris brought me up on stage, and he did this whole exercise with me because I talked about my struggles and my lack of belief in myself as an artist, as a performer. And he helped me unlock that voice and that fear of singing with one of these powerful exercises. And the crazy thing was, as soon as we were done, you know, felt everything shift and really found that root of pain. There was a Baptist choir that had rented the room next to us in the hotel who started singing "I Could Believe I Could Fly." Okay, it still gets me all choked up. You can't plan these kind of moments. This is where the magic happens, where we just take a leap of faith into something we've never done before. Which brings us back to our power chakra and leaps of faith. The important thing is that you make the leap of faith small enough to sustain you through the cellular neuro network repatterning that goes on when we create a new habit. It takes practice. Be patient with yourself. Come join me tomorrow for the quantum coloring class. We're going to go even deeper. We'll have 90 minutes together. And as always, weird mistake, joy, love, and light. Oh, I don't know how to end this. This is my first one.